Hello
Welcome back.
to our podcast.
We took a short break, but we're back now, and hopefully we'll be posting a lot more.
Yep, we've recorded this intro like 5 times.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how to podcast anymore. Did we even ever know how to podcast in the first place?
We'll let you guys decide that, but we're definitely progressively worse than we were before.
We're not as... It's rusty. It's a lot.
Yeah. So just bear with us for this.
We say that every podcast, but it's true.
Single time.
You know, it's just, this is what happens when you
At what point do we start just saying this is how we are? Like, instead of bearing
check in a month or two.
Yep. And if we're still telling you to bear with us, this is just how we are.
Just know that bear with us means get over it.
And we're doing our best.
Okay. So today we have Charles Manson and
Lizzie Borden. Is Charles Manson? It's not. Sorry.
Just touched my foot.
Where is it occurring?
What do you
Where did the murder
he's
occur?
from Ohio.
Oh, okay. So yeah, mine's more of a local one this time. Usually mine are all over the place.
That's true. I usually do the local ones.
But mine's local this time.
Should we just jump right in?
Yeah. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
Let's just rock paper scissors shoot for it.
All right. We'll only do it one time though.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh my god, your finger just popped.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry. Okay. I feel like I should do some vocal exercises. Nope, I didn't want to do any. Okay. So, Charles Manson. He was born in Ohio, obviously to his mother. I was about to say to his mother, even though only mothers can birth. She was 16, and his father wasn't in the picture. His mother was Kathleen Maddox. She was a drunk, and she often went on benders for days, leaving Charles.
Can we call him Charlie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see why not. I mean...
Charlie? Why did you say it like that?
Charlie. Where was I? I'm already confused. She left with babysitters a lot, and she, along with her brother, were thieves.
They were all thieves, or her and her?
Her and her brother were thieves.
Oh, okay. I'm also noticing a pattern with, murderers. Their parents always have really bad issues.
Yeah, their home life is really messed up.
Yeah. Sad.
Yeah, I feel like you don't just become a murderer from, a good family. Like, they treat you right, and you're wake up one day I'm just gonna murder people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually you have something going on.
Yeah.
Okay. So her and her brother, they robbed a man that they had befriended because they thought that he was wealthy, and that's how they got caught eventually, by robbing him. And she got sent away for 7 years. So he got put in a home, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
When she got out, she was still drinking a lot, still stealing, and she tried to find him a foster home because she just didn't want to take care of him anymore. What? Great woman, truly.
Was this still when she was 16?
So sorry for that. It's embarrassing.
Was she still 16 when this was happening?
Well, no, she went away for 7 years. So she was in her 20s.
That
math.
Yeah, that completely went over my head.
So after she got out, Charlie, I'm gonna call him Manson because this is weird calling him Charlie because it makes him sound like a little boy.
He is a little boy.
He's a little boy, but he's he grows up to be kind of a monster. So I feel
kind of, just a little bit of a monster.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit. So she ends up sending him to boarding school. I can't even read my own handwriting. He goes to a boarding school for delinquent boys. Once he gets there, he runs away, and he comes back to his mother, and she brings him back. And then the second time he runs away, he gets a room, and to support himself, he robs stores at night.
So his mom sent him to boarding school. He left boarding school and went back to his mother.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of logic is that? The person who sent you away is just going to be oh, you You escaped? Okay.
Blind love, I guess. Yeah, she was like, you escape while you're going back. And then the second time he was like, well, she's going to bring me back again, so I guess I'll just get myself a room, which is exactly what he did. And
like a hotel.
Yeah, and then to make money and support himself, he was robbing like convenience stores at night. So then he was caught and sent away to Boys Town.
What?
A juvenile facility for boys, obviously. Boys Town.
Sounds like could be a rap.
Boys Town. Where you get sent away if you're bad. Boys Town. Don't be bad. Boys Town.
Oh my god.
And then after 4 days of being there, he and another student stole a car and a gun and fled.
Oh my god.
Yeah. 4 days.
These
took
are
them 4 days.
Bad kids.
That's why they went to Boys Town.
That was not scripted.
So they went to his friend's uncle's house, who was, as they call it, a professional thief.
Oh my god.
He's not an amateur, he's a professional. And he took them on as his, like, apprentices. Oh my god, I just can't speak. Apprentices. Where he would take them on, like, heists and stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Eventually they got caught, and Manson, got sent to Indiana Boys School, another reform school. So he was just in and out of reform schools.
This is 3 now.
Yeah. Where once he was there, he then claimed that he had been raped by other students with the encouragement of staff. So like the staff was telling them to rape him. But they never really found out if his claims were true because of this. He had a defense technique that he created called the insane game.
What?
Yeah. Where if he were unable to physically defend himself, he would scream and like make faces and wave his arms around to make himself seem insane. So
what?
He clearly wasn't all there.
What does that like? How is that helping him in any?
I think it was just like he thought if they think he's insane, they'll leave him alone.
It's weird.
Logic is not there,
yeah.
But that's Charlie for you.
That's Charlie, man.
That's Charlie. So he was just in and out of boarding schools his whole life, and was arrested multiple times and put into juvenile detention centers.
Just like his mama.
Just like he got it from his mama.
He did.
Yeah. Okay, so later in his life, he formed what is known now as the Manson family. In the late 1960s, it was his cult.
Oh.
His followers consisted mainly of young women from the California area, which is really weird. Yeah, young women.
Weird.
And they committed 9 murders at 4 different locations between July and August of 1969. So when he formed the Manson family, he was obviously an ex-con. He'd spent half his life in and out of facilities, and just.
So the Manson family is like, it's just a cult. It's not like his like real family.
No, he just called them the Manson family.
Okay.
Probably, honestly, if you like think about it, probably because he never really had one of his own.
Yeah.
His mom and his mom's brother, his uncle, were like thieves and got put in and out of jail. His mom didn't want him, so
yeah,
it was probably, and these were like, it was the majority of them were women.
Mm-hmm. That's weird.
It is weird because women are statistically less like violent than men.
I just think it's weird though because he was in and out of boarding schools, which was mainly men, so it's weird that most of it's women.
Yes, that's true. Maybe he just like had a issue with women because of his mother.
Maybe.
His members were responsible for assaults, thefts, crimes, and the attempted assassination of President Gerald Ford.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah. It's a big deal when you try to murder the president.
Yeah, just a little. People don't like that.
So his first... No, I already talked about that. Sorry. So the timeline is he is released from prison in March 21st, 1967. And he says, this is what they quote, he says to the prison guard, "Oh no, I can't go outside there. I knew that I couldn't adjust to that world, not after all my life had been spent locked up and where my mind is free." So he basically was saying he like didn't want to be released.
Interesting.
So right out of prison, he meets Gary Hinman, who introduces him to Dennis Wilson, who is a member of the Beach Boys.
Really?
Yeah. Something that people I don't think people know about Charles Manson, he was really into like the music scene. He did a lot of music with the Beach Boys. Actually, they didn't credit him for it, but he helped them produce one of their songs, like one of their hit songs.
Really?
Yeah, but they never gave him credit for it.
Did they know he was like insane?
I mean, after.
They
I
must
don't
be,
actually.
like-
I don't know if they knew because he was arrested before that.
They must, like, when they found out, they were probably like, damn. Like,
They're like, oh shoot.
I can't believe this is a hit song and it's made by a
That's
murderer.
probably why they didn't give him credit.
Yeah. They're like, nope, that credit's being taken away.
So then Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys introduces Manson, Jesus, to Terry Melcher, who is a producer, and then he actually denied to work with him, and that's when Manson just like up and moved and with his cult, and he moved out of his home. And Roman Polanski and Sharon Tate, who were really famous at the time, moved into his home, Manson's home, when he moved out, which is important later. So July 1969, Hinman, the man that he introduced him to Dennis Wilson from the Beach Boys, is murdered by Manson's family.
Yeah.
So he sends out a hit on him and they kill him for him. And then August 1969, pregnant Sharon Tate, Roman Polanski, and 4 other people that were in their home, Manson's old home, were brutally murdered by his members. Mm-hmm.
Why? Like,
it doesn't say. I didn't read anywhere that it said why. It was just unprovoked. And then the next day, since they said that Manson found that the murders were sloppy, as he called them. So he accompanied his cult members, and they drove around looking for another victim.
So by sloppy, do you mean like they were like covered up badly, or they were? Just,
I think he felt like they didn't do a good enough job.
Okay.
So they drove around looking for another victim, and eventually murdered Leno, and Rosemary LeBlanca. And then he had one of his members attempt to kill President Ford as well, but eventually they all were incarcerated. The girl or woman, I guess you could say, who he sent to assassinate President Ford was actually released after 38 years of serving her time. But most of them were sentenced to the death penalty.
As they should have been.
But then Florida took it, like they made the death penalty illegal, so they couldn't do that, so they were just living out their sentences in jail. Yeah, that's
I
Charles
think about it
Manson.
a lot, and like, I don't know if like, I don't know how I feel with the death penalty.
I personally don't agree with the death penalty just because I think it's like the easy way out. Like you're dead. Like yeah, you're not living anymore, but you're dead. Like you don't have to suffer. But if you sit in jail for the rest of your life, you're suffering.
I know. I wouldn't say it's the easy way out, only because like yeah, it's death, and like you obviously you can't do anything else. But it's like I feel like it's almost worse having them sit in jail.
Yeah, because they're just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah.
And, they could have enemies in jail. You don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I personally don't like the death penalty just because I feel like it's, I don't know. Sometimes it's what they want. You know what I mean?
I agree. They're like, I'll murder all these people and I get killed. I don't really care.
Right. Or it's just like they know they won't have to spend time in jail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I did mine on Lizzie Borden. Actually, when I was in high school, I went to the Lizzie Borden house.
Which is where?
Fall River.
Mass?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is where it all took place too, is in the house. I think it's the original house. I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, it's like been renovated and like stuff like that. But when I was there, I actually stood in one of the spots where her sister was murdered.
Ew.
Yeah. Obviously, years later, it's not that gross anymore because everything obviously has been cleaned. But I stood in one of the spots where her sister was murdered, and the tour guide was actually showing us, because in parts of my story, this will like tie in that he was showing us from the stairs, like you can see where her sister was lying after she was murdered, and like it's
That's gross.
Yeah. It's pretty cool though. It was really cool. We didn't get to go in the basement, but
bummer.
I know, but I wanted to. So this took place in August 1892 in Fall River, and Lizzie was known for being an axe murderer, not like worldwide, but like this is what her murder was. She was an axe murderer. And
Murderess.
Sure.
Murderess?
This became a large case and received widespread newspaper coverage throughout the U.S. So I think at the time, this was like a really big thing. Like I think most murders...
I think whenever someone murders their entire family, it's...
Well, she didn't murder her... Well, maybe she did. She murdered her entire family, but I think it's just such a big thing because it's so like... It's in 1892.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a thing that's just like hasn't happened. And everyone was like freaking out. So on the morning of August 4th, between 9 a.m. and 10:30, Abby, Lizzie's sister, had gone up to the guest room to make the bed. So their family was like very strict on chores, and I guess they all had like certain things that they would do every day, or I guess whatever. There was like guests, they would have Abby clean the room. So she was doing that, and according to a forensic investigation, Abby was facing her killer at the time of her attack. Abby was...
Wait, forensic investigator?
Yeah.
In the 1800s?
Yeah. Okay, I should explain this. So the way that the story, I have it, it's like, it's telling the story, and it's like looking at it from a point of view of someone like investigating it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, like, I'm going to tell you some parts, and then it's going to say, like, her attorney later, whatever. And it's just, like...
Okay.
Yeah. So, according to forensic investigation, Abby, when she was killed, was facing Lizzie. And Abby was first struck on the side of her head, causing her to fall face down on the floor.
With the axe?
Yes.
Ugh.
Or hatchet.
Ugh.
And where she fell face down on the floor is where I stood.
That must have hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, like, even when you bonk your head...
Yeah, like lightly.
It hurts.
Yeah, and
I'm like thinking about the sound it makes.
Yeah,
you know what
that was an awful sound. So not only did she hit her on the side of the head, Lizzie struck her at least 17 more times in the back of the head.
17?
Yep.
That's overkill.
Yep.
She wanted her
She
dead.
did. She wanted her done.
She was like,
I'm sick of you.
I want to make sure you're freaking dead. Like,
yeah. So the Borden house, it was on 3 floors, the top floor being used for the maid, because they did have a maid. Her name was, Bridget.
Oh, R.I.P. Bridget.
Bridget didn't die.
What?
Bridget didn't get killed. She didn't kill Bridget. She killed everyone else except Bridget.
Bridget must have done something good, I guess.
Yeah. So the Borden house was set up on 3 floors. Abby's body would have been visible to anyone on the 2nd floor, anyone coming up the stairs of the 2nd floor, which is where I was telling you in the beginning. How, like, so the way that it was is you were walking up the stairs, and, like, if you look to your left, you could see directly under the bed. You would be able to see, like, Abby laying on the floor across, just, like, face down.
I know what you're saying.
And there was Bridget, who was in the house, who apparently saw nothing.
She saw nothing?
Yeah, she was...
So someone got axed in the head 17 times.
Like, imagine the noises that makes.
I can imagine her sitting up in her room. It's the 1800s, so she's not doing anything. She's not listening to music, and she's like...
I hear nothing.
I hear nothing. She's
but think about it too.
Me.
The walls are like paper thin. Like my house is so old, and you can hear everything.
So you're saying she's basically like chopping her head up, and she can't hear anything.
You can't hear someone.
What is Bridget deaf?
Yeah.
You know what, Bridget? That's fine. You know, save yourself, I guess.
Lizzie later denied being upstairs and testified that her father asked her where Abby was, and she replied that a messenger had delivered Abby to visit a sick friend. Lizzie then stated that she helped her dad out of his work boots and helped him on into his slippers. And before he laid down...
Crippled?
I don't know. That's what I was thinking, before he lay down for a nap. So what I was thinking is, like, how much can you really help someone? Take their boots off and put them in slippers?
Is he 85?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he was, like, a normal age dad.
Maybe he was drunk.
I don't think so. See, like, this is one of the things, like, Abby had, like, a pretty normal family. Like, her family was wealthy.
You're talking about Lizzie?
Yeah, Lizzie. sorry, Lizzie had, like, I don't see, like, a motive behind her killing her family.
Oh no! And I just got done saying, you don't see people with a normal family
Yeah,
murdering
like, that's
people.
what I don't understand. Like,
I retract that statement. People with normal families, I guess, do murder.
she was, like, a pretty wealthy, like, you have a maid in the 1800s. Like,
That is so. What is that word? Ungrateful. Lizzie, you are ungrateful, honey.
Yep. So, she helped her dad into his slippers before he laid on the sofa to take a nap. And
he sleep.
Yeah, an autonomy. I can't say that. No, it's I can't say it like autonomy.
I don't even know that word.
It's autonomy. Nope. It's like yes, it
You're
is.
saying the L before the M.
Autonomy. That's my dyslexic. I'm so sorry.
Atomly?
Autonomy. No, I think it's like a court person.
You're saying it weird again. Autonomy.
No, not autonomy.
Weird.
I think it's someone in like a courtroom.
Let's look it up.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Should I ask Siri? Autonomy.
I'm pretty sure it's someone in a courtroom. I was saying it fine before. It's just like.
Honestly, I don't even see this word.
Okay, we're just gonna say it's someone in a courtroom. So
I don't even think it's a word.
Okay, whatever. So someone in a courtroom later contradicted that statement with a crime scene photo showing her father wearing boots. So
even though she said that she put him in slippers.
Her story's all over the place. She's just like she's not consistent. So okay. So Lizzie then informed Bridget, who was the maid, of a department store sale and permitted her to go, but Bridget felt unwell and went to her room to nap. So,
this Bridget, just getting out of everything.
She is. But then Bridget testified that she was on the 3rd floor resting from cleaning the windows. And when she heard Lizzie yell from the 1st floor, Bridget, come quick, someone killed father. So, but from my understanding, Bridget must have been outside cleaning windows when Lizzie was killing Abby.
So she saw it.
Well, I don't know.
This maid.
It depends. Depending on what side of the house she was at. But like I said earlier, her coming up the stairs, she would have seen Abby. Anyone on the 2nd floor would have seen Abby.
Bridget is full of it.
Bridget is. That's probably... They had a plan.
You think Bridget and Lizzie were in it together?
They had to have been. You would... Walking up the stairs, you would have seen the blood and her body.
Bridget, we're on to you, girl.
Bridget walked up the stairs with her face just completely straight, like not turning at all.
She like had blinders on. She's like, I see nothing.
She's like, Lizzie, do your thing.
Lizzie, girlfriend, we talked about this earlier. I know what you're doing. Just, you know what? I'm going to go upstairs, take a quick nap. It's cool. You're cool.
So Bridget yelled up to Lizzie to come down. Someone killed father. Andrew, who was Lizzie's father, was slumped on the couch in the downstairs sitting room. She had struck him 10 or 11 times.
What is wrong with this
girl?
She
like really wants them dead. Like she's not striking. It's an.
Did you forget to give her allowance that week? Is that the issue?
Like it's a hatchet. How much can like you hit someone once in like the right spot, they're dead. Like you don't need to hit them 10 or 11 times. And so, this is my favorite part. Oh, so one of his eyeballs had been cleanly cut.
That's your favorite part.
Yep. Had been cleanly cut into, so they suggested that he was sleeping when this happened. Yep. And
ew. I'm like picturing my eye hurts.
And the detective estimate that his death was around 11 a.m. So she killed Abby, and then like a half hour later, she killed her dad.
She like just got up for the day.
Yeah, I don't know what. Like she just like went off. She was like, I'm gonna kill everyone.
Were those her only 2 victims?
Yeah.
Her father and her. Where was her mother? Did you say?
I don't think she. It doesn't really say anything about her mom. I don't know if her mom like wasn't in the picture.
Her mother was Charles Manson's mother.
Probably. So this is more about the investigation, and the police later found 2 hatchets, 2 axes, and a hatchet head with a broken handle in the basement of the house.
Bridget was definitely in on it.
She had to have been.
Can you imagine, like, why would there be 2 axes? Like, Lizzie's holding 2 in each hand, or 1 in each hand, and she's, like, wielding it.
She didn't use the axes. So this part says, the hatchet head was suggested to be the murder weapon. So she didn't use that.
What's the difference between an axe and a hatchet? Is a hatchet just smaller?
I think. I think an axe is probably heavier and
Let's
bigger.
look it up.
So the hatchet was supposed to be the murder weapon. And they say this because the hatchet had a clean break in the handle and along with ash and dust on the head of the hatchet, unlike the other bladed tools.
Hold on. So, for everyone listening, the difference between a hatchet and an axe. So, why can't there just be like...
I think a hatchet's just smaller, honestly.
I think so. Hold on. It says, hatchet is a small one-hand axe used for chopping. So, yeah, I think an axe is just bigger and heavier.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a picture.
Oh,
yeah, the hatchet is
hatchet's like
less
not
than
even half the size.
Yeah, it's like a third of the size of an axe.
Okay, so yeah, that was the murder weapon.
She just thought it was more convenient.
So the ending of this story had me a little shook. I didn't know about it when I went to the house. They didn't really tell us what happened to Lizzie after. So August 11th, Lizzie was served with a warrant of arrest and jailed. The inquest testimony, the basis for the modern debate regarding her guilt or innocence, was later ruled unallowable at her trial, June 1st, 1983. And then on June 1st, 1927, Lizzie died of pneumonia. She didn't go to jail or anything. She just continued to live her life after.
Wait, they never incarcerated her? She just was
No,
out?
she just lived. She just lived her life.
Cool.
And she died of pneumonia.
You know what? That's karma.
Yeah.
What goes around comes around, boo boo.
Yeah. So Lizzie literally got away with murder. Just straight up got away with 2 murders. And so did Bridget. Bridget was like, I don't see anything.
Bridget? Oh my god.
Bridget probably cleaned the bloody window.
She probably cleaned up the blood.
Probably.
She probably cleaned Lizzie up because there was blood splatter all over Lizzie's face. And she was like, Lizzie, honey, let me clean you up before the police get here. Make you look presentable.
Mm-hmm. And before she saw her dad, because she saw her dad 30 minutes
after.
Yeah, so there's no
oh my god,
no
Bridget.
way that Lizzie got completely changed, got all the blood off of her without Bridget knowing.
It's not even that. It's just the fact that Bridget was just there the whole time and saw nothing.
Mm-hmm. Apparently she was napping.
I smell a rat.
Yeah.
And her name is Bridget.
Bridget, we know. So, yeah, that's my story on Lizzie Borden. She literally got away with murder. And just
I didn't know that. I didn't know that she didn't go to jail.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. And Bridget had no idea about that woman.
Yeah. Yep. But the house is it's a nice house. It definitely was renovated when we went, but
I bet it was nice for the time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, there's no way me thinking of the layout of the house. There's no way that if Bridget was outside cleaning windows, her coming up the stairs and one, not seeing Lizzie completely bloody, and 2,
Abby.
Well, Lizzie too, because Lizzie just murdered her, and her not seeing Abby laying on the floor.
That is really suspicious.
I don't know how they didn't think of it at the time.
I know, they weren't hey, Bridget, you really didn't see or hear anything? She's
Bridget's no, I saw nothing.
I was in a very deep sleep. I just knocked right out. Had no idea the whole time. Had no idea.
A skull getting hatcheted. Yeah, I was just
hatcheted.
Napping.
Sleeping like a baby.
Also, there's a saying. I was gonna write this down, but I completely forgot. So I'm gonna tell you guys what the saying is. There's a Lizzie Borden saying.
What is it? Kill your family and get away with it? Kill your family with your maid and get away with it? Threaten the maid with a hatchet and get away with it? Long silence.
Okay, so yeah, never mind. I can't find it.
Right.
But yeah, there's definitely a saying. And yeah, that was our stories.
I almost just clapped.
You start clapping for your own podcast.
Good job, everyone. That's a wrap.
Oh my god.
I think for our next one, we're going to explore a different, I think we're going to do a different type of podcast. Maybe,
I think we just want to branch
out a little more.
Because we love doing the murder stuff, but I feel like we could definitely give you guys a lot more if we did segments and different types of
various things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Honestly, whoever's listening, like if you have anything you want us to talk about, honestly, send it our way.
Mom, you know my email.
Yep.
So, thanks for listening. We'll
most likely be back next week. Hopefully.
Don't go to Boys Town.
We did finger guns and you couldn't see it.
Yep, finger guns. And we're out.